Hello, everybody, and welcome back once again to the One Nation of Gamers 2016 Hearthstone Circuit. We're almost done with Group B of Feature Tournament number one. We're about to jump into the decider match between Chalky and Eversiction to see who's going to move on to the playoff stage tomorrow. Once again, I'm TJ. Joining me throughout the day has been Kriparian. It's been a fun day. I really like to see players bring different decks than what we're used to.
I've really loved the Murloc action. I know it can be a bit infuriating to play against it, but I think it's one of those decks that really makes tournaments very interesting. And it's, you know, I play ladder a little bit, and the little bit of ladder I play, I very rarely run up against this deck. I know it's somewhat popular against certain ranks. It sees some tournament play, but it feels like it's maybe a bit better than it gets credit for.
Mhm.
We've seen some really nice games, some really cool performances from it, and I feel the complexity of the games, the numbers, and all the things they have to play with and around make the deck a very enjoyable experience to watch. So I'm very glad it's not banned. Shaman is banned, though. I am surprised to see that. Banning Shaman
Yeah,
instead of Druid. What do you think about that?
so I kind of like it because Eversection actually has a couple of decent matchups against Druid. Rogue is a decent matchup against Druid, where
Mhm.
it's terrible against Aggro Shaman. Patron is also a decent matchup against Druid, and it's also kind of bad against. I see you skeptical there.
I'm skeptical on that one. I think
It's
Patron Warrior is
very
pretty good.
close.
It's pretty good against Shaman.
Well, it all depends. I think I'm under the boat that Aggro Shaman is actually good against both types of warriors
Mm.
because
I think with
warriors have a really hard time with dealing with early totem golems.
That's true, but at the same time, I mean, this is a pretty anti-aggro patron list. Like it was designed to beat Secret Paladins. So right now, it's basically a control warrior with instead of late game, just mid game. So it's going to be so consistent
Yeah.
against dealing with early game.
Well,
Um,
it
it's double
it
armor smith too, right? Like it's not
it's double armor
it
smith,
hasn't cut
but
those corners.
it's hard to get value out of armor smith, and also Eversection's running the version that's worse against Aggro Shaman because you don't have Cork on elites. Playing a Pilot Shredder on turn four against an Aggro Shaman is like a death sentence.
Hmm.
Especially maybe as a druid, yeah, if you ramp it out. But again, it just doesn't do anything when it's put on the board. But it is a close matchup, and if you do get armor smiths and you can get a whirlwind effect on an armor smith with a big board, it can lock shamans out of the game instantly. So, but we're not going to get to see that because shaman is banned, and we will get to see Chalky's druid though. Chalky brought aggro druid to the the Americas winter preliminary with Fell Reavers, the
Hmm.
classic aggro druid that we saw on ladder a few months ago.
Yep.
This looks pretty standard.
Yep. This hand sucks though. I mean, this hand is just one that you generally do not win games with.
Hmm.
Turn 2 hero power, turn 3 hero power, no ramp, all late game.
Yeah, he is gonna have. It's still good against mage though. Like it's
Oh, going in, I think, but like in the situation that's presented by the mulligan and opening few turns, I feel like this is in the mage's side right
mhm.
now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. So I talked to Chalky a little bit about the strategy behind picking and banning in Conquest, and I really like his strategy going in. You could see the Harrison Jones as a tech card in his
Hmm.
druid. So what Chalky does is he goes into matchups with decks that he thinks he knows he can beat warrior decks with, because he goes in knowing that he's most likely going to be banning druid in every single game. The reason why he's going to do that is because you don't want to weaken your mirror matchup by putting a Harrison Jones in it. Your mirror matchup when you're not going to be banning druid.
Hmm.
There's no reason to put a Harrison Jones in if you ever plan on banning warrior. So it's a really good plan. It's something that not a lot of players did, and it's something that I talked with Chalky and a few other players about going into the preliminary. So I really like that tech card inclusion and Chalky's ban strategy revolving around it.
Yeah, it does work pretty well. We saw a few Kazans, but not in Chalky's list. I believe they were in via. Were they
Nostum.
PLPS? Oh yeah, it was
Nostum.
Nostum's. It was Nostum's Warlock deck
Hmm.
that had the Kazan, I believe. And that was pretty interesting.
Yeah, he just had. It seemed like he had like a 40 card deck.
Yeah, it really did.
He had Leroy combo. He had Fugan Stalag. He had Ooze, BGH, Kazan, every tech card.
All right. Standard draw from the Ancient Allure here.
All right, so I think Chaki's running. Oh man, this list. I think this is Admirable's Druid list because Admirable one runs one Aspirant, one Belcher, with one Shade and one Living Roots,
Hmm.
and one War. He runs a lot of one ofs of like the cards that people are on the fence about. He just puts in one of them.
Mm.
So
This is a decent opportunity to play an Emperor, but it doesn't actually land on cards that are relevant this game.
Savage Roar, I suppose. Loatheb is interesting in the fact that it being 4 mana can make for some power play turns against Freeze
Hmm.
Mage. But yeah, you're right. It's not hitting a Force of Nature. It's not hitting a full combo. It's definitely not hitting a double combo.
Yeah,
So he can do good things, but he can't do unfair things.
right. All right. Looks like Eversection is interested in using all 7 of his mana. Hmm. You can go for a Frostbolt Ping, play another Acolyte after
Yeah.
that.
He wants to make sure that he doesn't overdraw.
He also needs to make sure he doesn't use both Frostbolts.
Yeah, that's true as well. There's, I mean, with this deck you can because you have so much burn with torches.
Hmm.
But right now, his hand tells him that his his burst options are Frostbolt, and that's it. Like Frostbolt Ice Lance.
Yeah.
So if he draws into some torches, or if he has to use some of the Ice Lances to stop damage coming from the board, then he can use that Frostbolt. But yeah,
All right. Very aggressive play here. Using all the mana available, put the most stuff on the board as soon as possible. Having the ice block behind is pretty good. That is like the main answer that you have against Lotheb. Just having a castable ice block.
yep,
Usually you play Lotheb when you're about to proc them.
yeah. Either the turn before or during the turn where you do.
What kind of options do we have here as the Freeze Mage? It feels like
Yeah.
all of them do the same thing and nothing that you actually want to do.
Yeah, I think Thanos Blizzard because you need to start getting rid of cards out of your hand.
Hmm.
It's the only way to like get cards out while still doing something productive because you clear off the aspirin as well as the first iteration of the shredder. You can
Yeah.
also just Frost Nova, ping, and play Blood Mage. But
No, then the
that's
Blood Mage just die, right? Or might get
yeah,
silenced too, that'd be horrible.
yeah. I mean, it can still get silence here, but at least you're if you're not getting the card draw out of it, you're still getting the extra spell damage. It puts the Harrison in ping range, so and blizzards are always good to get out of your hand earlier because Lotheb, again, having castable freezes is also a good thing too. If your ice block is still up and you want to buy yourself another turn. So when you have the option of freeze and there's no clear winner, then usually Blizzard's the right way to go.
Alright, looks like he's gonna try to save the Drew the Claw to go for a charge combo with him. Here comes
Emperor,
Emperor, Frost Nova.
that's scary.
That is scary. Looks like you'll have to use Drew the Claw here. Ooh, boom.
He can he can leave it up for another turn. That's super dangerous.
Yeah,
Really, really dangerous.
I think I prefer if he just goes to kill it here.
Yeah. And Dr. Boom's a good card. It can be great to just play it when you have a big board, but can also be good to just save it. After you pop the block, to just
Hmm.
play as sort of like a checkmate tool to where your opponent can't clear the board because they can't risk dying to boombots on their own turn when their ice block can't proc.
Alright, well, Alistraza here I think is the play.
Does he have enough damage though? He does have Ice Block, so that's a check mark in when to play
Yes.
Alexstrasza.
Yeah, he
Um,
has he has Pyroblast, Frostbolt, Ice Lance.
oh wow, he can actually fit that all into a single turn.
Yeah, and it's not only that. Chalky's going to respond with Loatheb Savage Roar, but then he's going to have the castable Ice Block.
Yeah, that's true. So he can play Alex's turn. Lotheb comes down the next turn. He can Ice Block. Oh no, I don't think that works. You spend your whole turn. Oh no, no, that does work. Yeah, he's getting in the damage now. Okay, yeah, this is really smart. So now next turn he's free to just cast Ice Block and do nothing else
Mm-hmm.
because then he has the damage follow up. Yep. Ancient of
Oh, and Ancient
War.
of Lore doesn't even save him.
Yeah, he can Ancient of Lore, Innervate Lotheb, and
And that would
hope,
that would play around losing to a Fireball, but
and then
then
hope
you
that he
might as well just
draws.
heal then. You might as well just heal then.
No, yeah, yeah. You might as well just. Yeah, I don't know. You'd play around Fireball more so than you'd play around Pyroblast.
Right.
Because Lothar would play around Pyroblast, but Ancient of War would play around Fireball because there's more Fireballs in the deck. And he needs to pop the block here as well.
Yeah. So I think he's just going to lure.
But then again, Lothar also makes it so that he can't play. He has to also play block. So, and he needs to fit in armor up over 2 turns. So yeah, this is better because now next turn, if of course, if he
Oh,
didn't kill, but
he just drew a
he
Fireball.
just rips the fireball. Okay, I still think Doc played that correctly
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
because he needed to fit in armor ups over 2 turns, and
Mm.
playing Loteb was the best way to do that because it also forced him to have a very specific win condition or to play the second block. So just play the second block. So well played.
All right. Well, the Druid
But
drops a game.
yeah,
The decision to leave a Druid in seems to have paid off so far. And if you can grab one game, that's good enough, especially if it's the first one.
yeah. So this druid deck is a little bit weaker than some of the faster druid decks in the Freeze Mage Mirror. I'm talking about faster ones as in double Azure Drake and double Living Roots and no Darnassus Aspirant because Sledge Belcher doesn't have an immediate impact on the board. Living Roots early can chip in for a lot of damage and later on can be used as Savage Roar applicants or also to do extra 2 damage to face to pop blocks when your board is frozen. So probably a little tilting for Chalky, I'd say, to lose a matchup that he would still probably consider himself a favorite in, but not the end of the world.
Here it's going to be Rogue versus Zoo. I like the opening hand from the Zoo player. The Rogue is going to have to get better cards, though.
hmm This is a good matchup for Rogue, though.
I think it's a good matchup for Rogue, but I think it's like so opening hand dependent. Like if the
Oh
Rogue
yeah, yeah,
doesn't have like backstabs or like a good Blade Flurry in the first 3 or 4 turns, it's just going to be way too low on health to do anything.
yeah. But there are a lot of power plays that can be made as a Rogue that can just win you the game on the spot. Like if you have a Violet Teacher and you like coin out a Violet Teacher and then prep Sap of Imp Gang Boss. I mean, there's just not much that a Zoo Warlock can do to come back on the board unless they had a ridiculous start before that.
We haven't seen Battle Teacher though.
Well, we haven't seen a lot of the deck. We didn't
We've
see.
seen a decent portion. He did go off with a half combo with Auctioneer in the game he
we
won, right?
we saw, I believe, 18 cards.
Mm-hmm.
So there were still 12 that we didn't see. Um, and a lot of times, yeah, Malagos Warlock, they don't run Violet Teacher. They run a Tomb Pillager instead, sometimes 2
Oh,
Pillagers.
there it
But
is.
yeah, there's a Teacher. So he does have that combo, Violet Teacher Prep Sap, but there's not any good targets.
Yeah, I like the Darwolf just getting the damage in.
Put this apple on your head.
Oh, okay.
This diversifies his assets.
Hmm. This is tough.
There's no good sap targets. There's no good shiv targets. So a power play would be to Violet Teacher, prep sap something, but there's just nothing good.
And I think just the develop the deadly poison is the best play.
Yeah, yeah. This way he can develop it over 2 turns. He's also forcing the Flamen back into hand, which is 3 additional damage. The 1 mana is pretty easy to play. Still holds onto the prep, so prep can be used this turn to use the shiv or even to use something else. If he picks up an eviscerate
Could implosion
or
his egg
blade
here.
flare,
That'd be fun.
that would be fun. But
I
that
don't-
plays pretty heavily into blade flurry.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the wisest thing, but it'd be fun.
It would be fun. Implosion's actually one of the most unfun cards in the game, though, which is the funny
It's
thing.
true.
Someone's pissed no matter what.
Yeah.
If you roll a 4, then your opponent's pissed because you rolled a 4. If you roll a 2, then you're pissed because you rolled a 2. And if you roll a 3, then both people are pissed because you didn't roll either a 4 or a 2. So it's just a conundrum. Well, this is actually really troubling because
Oh no, it isn't. Blade flurry. Easy game.
no! There's still 4 damage. There's going to be 4 damage from the egg, but that is brutal.
That is pretty brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, what do you do here? I kind of like the tap, and then maybe kill the Vile Teacher or go face.
It's super tough because you really want an implosion. You just saw a board sweep. So maybe he just kills. And Direwolf Alpha is really good for after an implosion.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So maybe just implosion the Violet Teacher. And I know you're wasting a lot of damage here, but it might be the best option. Also,
If you
though,
get 2, you're screwed though.
yeah, that's true.
You're dead to the board, then you have nothing. As you
Yeah.
lock against Rogue, that's a terrible spot. So I think
And-
one in 3 you kind of lose if
Yeah.
you do that.
Yeah, very true. Sea Giant's going to be a good pickup, though. Because as long as he can keep some creatures on the board, it's actually starting to get relatively, not late in the game, but he's starting to get high mana, so there could be opportunities where he can pick up, where he can play Implosion and maybe even Sea Giant afterwards.
Ooh, okay. Well, this looks like a better play, but it does allow him to get implosioned here.
Yeah. But he can't play the Sea Giant, even if he rolls a 4. Because he'd be killing something, so he'd be taking it off the board, so he'd only put 3 additional creatures on the board. The mana cost of the Sea Giant would still be 4, and he'd only have 2 mana.
It'd be
So he's
one
still
higher,
way off.
relatively. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Double PO. He rolled a 2. I could see it in his face. Yep. Oh man, that's just tough for Chalky to see a Blade Flare ripped off the top like that, and then into a 2 implosion.
Man,
Chalky's-
I don't think you want to burn this coin. I think you want to leave this coin in your hand if you're the rogue here. That's another card.
I think at this point he just wants to keep the board as clean as possible. He probably realized that the win condition is not going to be like comboing. It's just going to be playing out the strong creatures that he has. Can he do it?
No, don't try it.
He needs a 3.
It's gonna be a 2 100% of the time here, man. I'm telling you.
He might just hedge his bets and just play the Imp Gang boss and PO his.
Yeah.
That's. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can you can't let implosion take over your life. Sometimes you just have to trust in it.
What did I say?
I don't even know anymore, man. Sometimes you have to let implosion take over your life, I guess.
Oh man,
That's-
what a depressing game for Chalky.
Yeah. He can't even PO and play Sea Giant. Oh,
No.
that's nothing's working out for him because Implosion. I get ran off for days about Implosion. The snowball effect on Implosion is ridiculous,
Yeah.
especially with the Sea Giant. Because if he had rolled even just a 3 there, not only would it have killed the Azure Drake, but it would have allowed for even an Imp Gang boss and a Sea Giant this turn, let alone a Power Overwhelming and a Sea Giant this turn. So it just rolls downhill.
Hmm. Shift again. Oh, damn.
Wait, what is it? What health is that? Okay, it's at 6, so it's not at 5,
No.
but he can clear it off with the Emperor and re-dagger up. This is just going to be really tough because Chalky needs to tap, but every time he taps, he just gets closer to death range, and
Oh,
defender
that's
it doesn't
maybe
really matter.
yeah.
Ooh, Dr.
That's
Boom!
hard.
And Chalky does, keep in mind, he has that Leroy in his deck. Leroy puts power roaming as 10 damage from hand.
And it's
And it's gone.
alright. Wait. Can he do this? Four face. What did he hit Malagos?
One! Malagos for 1. Chalky
Oh my
has to
God.
be going out of his mind right now.
Okay, well he's dead to just the eviscerate, so he's got to.
That's right.
Oh no, he can just silence Malagos and taunt up in front.
Oh yeah, that's true. Um, he's actually got to think here though. He's got to like let the tilt flow away from his body and think how he sets up for a win. Because Enhancer Mechano plus PO and a Abusive Sergeant is actually a really decent combination. He might even
That's
just be
actual lethal. If he got lucky, but why would you try
I like
now?
how you just throw out the lethal first. Like it's lethal. Oh, if this happens and this happens and this happens, he'd have to get Wind Fury on.
He'd have to
all
get
three.
Wind Fury, and then the Boombot, after it died from the Power Overwhelm effect, would have to hit face for I think at least 2.
Yeah. Well, there's still a chance.
Yeah, this is looking okay right now.
Is it look? I don't think it's looking okay, but it's looking okay for a chance. Oh man.
I like it. If he gets
So
any kind of buff and rolls Wind Fury.
or even if you just get Soulfire, I think you just have to go for the Boombot lethal. Like if he gets one buff. There's actually a spectator bug right now where if you're spectating
see
both
the
players,
cards.
you can't see the cards. So we'll just have to. It doesn't look. He would have picked it instantly, I think. What did he get? Wind Fury? Nope.
Dimension. You can just go for it still.
I think you have to.
All right, this is
Alright, so
1 in 3 and then 75%. So it's like 1 in 4. So no, Malagos is the champ. So give me those bombs. I got 12 health. Give me.
Wow. That was
If Chalky
That
just
was-
got a little bit luckier, he would have won easily.
a brutal game to watch.
Yeah, it
Brutal
was.
game to watch. Oh man.
Yeah.
Blade Flurry off the top. Implosion for 2. Implosion for 2. 1 mana off Sea Giant Power Overwhelming.
Your soul shall be mine.
Enhancer Mechano now rolling Wind Fury. The Boombot
Boombot's going
Ace.
all Malagos.
Even if the first Boombot, which was a 50-50 to hit face,
Yeah.
because the
Yeah.
other
If
creature
that
was
hit
on
face,
the
he might
that
have
hit
lethal.
face for 2 or more. If any of those things had gone right for Chalky, he wins that game.
I think this is going to be a pretty tough one to win against the Warrior. Like everything that the Warlock has, the Warrior has a counter for.
Mhm.
Like all the small minions get just chumped down by Grim Patrons and Whirlwind effects,
Yeah.
and the big minions get executed.
Made to fit.
There's like as many executes as there are big minions, basically.
Yeah. And Chalky is he's hyper competitive. He's an emotional player. He's not really an emotional player in games. He's level-headed. He keeps calm, but he is an emotional player and he is hyper-competitive. So um, we'll. I don't think it's going to affect him. But after that game, even the most stoic of players can be affected. And you just have
Is
to
it
sort of empty it from your mind.
is it worth it to silence? Oh, he's gonna just go PO into it. Okay.
I think a
I
lot of
was
times you have to save the silence for
patron.
patrons.
Okay. Well, the patron is drawn. Looks like it's gonna be a very weak play this turn though from the warrior.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the opportunity Chucky needs.
Hmm. Well, you don't want to. Yeah, I think Acolyte of Pain is also a great silence target, and you don't want to play the brand here because you're playing right into a Despite turn. So, I like this line. He can brand Peddler next turn if he really wants to. If he doesn't see a Despite.
Well, the Whirlwind Execute is a clear,
It is.
but it is a pretty poor clear because you can't play anything yourself.
Yeah, you just armor up. I think you go for it though. Any opportunity you can find to clear Zoo's board, you usually have to go for it because Zoo really doesn't do much without a board. A lot of their creatures are useless if they don't. Not useless, but very weak. Much weaker if they don't have a creature on the board. They have a lot of dead draws.
I feel this
So-
is a very good play here with the Bran and double discover.
Yeah.
Again, we won't be able to see what he picks until he actually picks the cards. But
Nope, it happens sometimes.
apparently we will. Sir Finley. I think I like the Reliquary Seeker better.
Yeah. You can also go for corruption. But yeah.
Wow. I didn't
corruption
expect that.
corruption is good against a couple things. It's good against stuff that you know is going to get multiple turns of value. And Reliquary Seeker against Patron Warrior is usually just a 1/1.
Hmm.
Actually, it's almost always a Oh my goodness. Time. Oh. I have no words.
Flame Imp. Well, you can play out your hand and tap. Oh, Boomster. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Well, there's that super value corruption.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that's like Everstation drawing the Despot is like a super lucky thing because it was actually unlucky of him to not have Fireworks on curve or a Despot at all. That's actually his first weapon, so it was only a matter of time before he picked it up. This game is going, you know, how pretty much an average Zoo vs. Patron game goes. Both players have mediocre hands, but not incredible hands. And if that happens, a lot of the times... Ooh, that's actually...
I think you still want to play the Dr. Boom. It's just so much better. You've already
Yeah.
seen an execute.
Yeah. And you have to trade into that, because if you leave it up, it trades into your Boom pretty easily. If you just trade the Flame Up in and leave it at 1, it trades into your Dr. Boom easily, so...
Alright. Let's see what the RNG war is going to be like.
Well, Eversiction's got to be feeling it in his fingers right now. Like,
Yeah.
he's leaning towards that patron. He knows that those boom bots are giving him 4 patrons.
Yeah, 4 patrons.
He knows it. He's like, two implosions.
What's the chance I get 4 patrons here?
It's always 50-50. Actually, in this case, it's not. It's 33% chance. All right, well, he didn't go for it, so hedging his bets against it. Not too shabby. So
Is it still worth it to power overwhelm here? I think it is.
Yeah. I think you tap regardless.
Right.
That might change things.
Yeah, you can Argus the egg, which is quite good. You can also leave the Dr. Room a 7-2 behind 2 taunts,
My shield for Argus.
which I think is, pretty safe.
I don't think he trade. He's just pushing. His hand is so situational. He's got Soul Fire, Power Overwhelming. Execute's picked up, so that is going to punish him, but he didn't have the Execute last turn, so the only thing that punishes is him ripping it off the top.
Yes! There it is!
The double ones. Chuck. Oh my goodness.
Ridiculous RNG. Oh, he can clear it though.
Wow. He can clear it, but Crip, at what cost?
Oh god. Oh no. No. You gotta play the other one. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
Oh man.
I think you might have to leave a 2 health patron on the board. I think that might be the play. Because otherwise your power room is wasted. Whoa. What?
Almost out of time.
He doesn't want to discard anything. What? He's discarding power overwhelming? That doesn't seem.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh,
No,
it's inconsequential. That's why.
Well, no, if he tried to kill the Lothab and left a 3-2 on the board, he could have made use of Power Woman.
The blade beats
Yeah, but he knew he was going to clear the patron, so whether or not he power overwhelmings the egg or not doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, with that line of play, yeah.
yeah, that looks like it's going to be the end for Chucky, though. I don't see a way for him to come out of this one. He's been through a lot of the burn in his deck. There's a big board that's going to kill him next turn. I think he just needs to get one last implosion for the road, you know.
No,
And for old
this is fine.
for old
That's,
time's sake.
it's going for 2, but it's okay. Oh,
He
oh,
got the
whoa!
4 when it didn't matter.
What do you mean? He's not dead. Chucky could come back here.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Oh. Oh, never mind. I guess not.
I'm trying to find. That's the face of a man who's been implosion. It's like it's taunting him.
Oh!
Okay,
That's good.
well, we're back in business.
Yeah, with some ridiculous RNG, this could be a clear.
The ultimate test.
Put this apple on your head.
This has to hit for 3
Can
or
he
4.
do it?
Has to be 3 or 4.
Okay,
Oh, it is 3. Oh, that could be a disaster. That's
Okay.
good. That's good. That's good. That's bad.
No.
It's not over. No. It's not over. It's not over. It's not over. You can get a 0 attack minion,
Yeah.
or you get a 1 health minion and a juggle. No juggle. Okay, so it has to be a 0 attack minion. And it's not.
Wow. I've never seen in my years of casting Hearthstone a game that just defeated a man or a match, a set of matches that just defeated a man more than that just defeated Chucky.
Yep. Well, with that, it will be Eversiction that advances as the runner-up into tomorrow's finals, and Chalky that is eliminated.
Yep.
Well, Chalky could have just played around it, maybe. Don't you think?
Played around which one?
All the bad RNG. You should have expected the worst
sure.
RNG in every situation.
Yeah. He got 1-4 implosion when it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
He put more imps on the board for the Boombot the next turn, but the Boombot went face to 4 anyway, so it ended up not mattering. But, you know, congratulations to Eversiction. He had a pretty cool lineup. He had Malagos Rogue, which is a bold choice. I've seen him been playing it in opens, and it is cool to see the guy that beat me get far. So we'll have to see how he does moving forward tomorrow's matchups. His Patient Warrior did look like it struggled against the lineups today. He went into he had a win against an unfavorable matchup in one of his in the matchup against Demon Handlock, and one with a pretty fringe case scenario. So He's probably got to come in with a different game plan, but we'll definitely see him tomorrow. As for Chalky, unfortunately, his road in feature tournament number 1 ends there. He will go away with some Geico points though, and Chalky is actually one of the leaders in Geico points. He's currently sitting in second place with 12 behind Shoop. So for this, for finishing, I believe it'd be fifth and sixth since he was the third place in his group. He'll get 5, so he'll get a good bump in those standings. He'll still probably be in the top 4 after this, because Shoop and Eversick, well, probably in the top 4. No, in the top 8 at least. Top 8 at least. So he's still got chances moving forward to play in those opens. But it feels bad to see how he went out there.
That's right. Coming tomorrow, though, the 2 winners out of Group B, what we saw today, Eversection and Nostum, they will be grouped up with the winners of yesterday's games, which was Shoop and Admirable. So some of the matchups will be a little bit different. I do believe Admirable is actually running very standard lineups. I know Admirable is a player who runs a lot of standard decks. Oh, he actually doesn't have Paladin.
He's running almost the same thing as Chalky, just without Murloc Paladin and with a Patron Warrior thrown in instead.
What's it? There's actually no Paladins tomorrow.
Oh,
so
really?
that Patron Warrior is actually going to struggle quite a bit.
Awesome. Oh, there's no Secret Paladins tomorrow.
Yeah, there's no Secret Paladins.
Yeah, it's possible.
It would be amazing if Eversection would come out on top on that day.
Oh, players are getting an extra deck. I believe it's best of 7s tomorrow. At least that's what we did in the summer circuit. Yeah. So it's best of 7. So it's 5 decks, 1 ban.
Okay, and that probably increases the odds by a lot because usually in the tournament scene, there's usually 4 to 5 decks, and after that, it's really stretching it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I don't know if it's 5 decks, 1 ban, or if it's 4 decks, no ban. Well, we'll get confirmation on that in just a moment. 5 decks, 1 ban. The confirmation came quickly, so that's gonna be cool. That's like the first time we're gonna see a format like this. So
I'm really spice it up a little bit.
I'm really looking forward to that. But that's gonna be tomorrow. It's gonna be at the same time today. So noon PST or PDT or PDT. I don't know. Some states don't use daylight savings time. So
you're on the West Coast, it's around noon.
Yeah, it's around noon and 3 p.m. EST. So that would be for people like Crip. So make sure you tune in then for the playoffs. I want to give a big shout out to Geico and Alienware for making this possible, and of course One Nation of Gamers for putting this circuit on, for producing it. It's 10 opens, 5 feature tournaments, a grand finals at PAX, a $60,000 prize pool for the total circuit. It's nuts. So make sure you head over to geico.onog.gg if you want to find out more information. But Crip, it's been a blast casting with you, man.
It has.
It's been a long time. I think it's been almost a year since we cast together. So thanks.
And we were very privileged to see some amazing creations in what I thought was otherwise a pretty stale meta. Here we are with very fun decks with Murloc Paladin, with counters the regular Paladin that wasn't here, and some very strange interactions that came about from these circumstances.
All right, man. Well, do you have any final words or shout-outs that you'd like to say before we close it
No,
out?
I'm good as well. I will not be joining you tomorrow, so I wish you luck. I'll be tuning in a little bit, seeing how it's going, and hopefully we'll see some more cool games. And I'm really rooting for the Murloc Paladin players. That's my new absolute favorite deck in tournaments after today.
Yeah. Well, once again, thanks, Crip. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow, 12 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST for the final. So thanks for watching, guys. See you tomorrow.